Hey everybody, it's Ben Huey with FGMO Products. I am in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'm on the road on a travel assignment in Hershey, and this is the closest I could find, closest trailer park I could find. It's a nice trailer park. It's the Western Village RV Park in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Anyway, the reason for making this video is that I wanted to talk to you guys about student loan forgiveness. The first thing that I wanted to say about student loan forgiveness is that this is the first time that anything that can happen unfairly with our political or justice system has happened in my favor. It's never happened before. So I'm going to be like those who, were, on my side of the injustice in the past, didn't show me any sympathy. I kind of don't have any sympathy. I do realize that it's unfair for those who didn't, who paid for their school without taking loans. But, I think that there is a fair way to approach this issue, because the fact of the matter is our government is making money off of the student loans when they charge interest. Student loans should be a taxpayer-funded entity, or whatever you call it. The taxpayers should foot the bill for its citizens to go to college, to learn something, to be the same way that the citizens foot the bill to go to elementary school, because I don't have kids, but I pay a school tax. Ask me how much say I get in what goes on in schools. They don't really care what I have to say if I don't have kids in school. So that seems kind of unfair. It's one of those things I'm talking about where I'm on the opposite end and nobody really gives a shit. So that's what sways me to not care. Anyway, I think it should be that we educate our citizens with taxpayer money. Yes, I think that that's a good idea. That's why I don't say anything about not paying for your kid or whoever's kids to go to school, is because living in a ignorant and uneducated society is not something that I would want. But it goes beyond sixth grade, it goes beyond high school to the fact that, how many people have these no skilled jobs and are being chastised for it. If we all have bachelor's degrees, guess what? Somebody's still going to have to make pancakes. So why don't we just pay people a fair wage? Anyway, we could go on and on about that. That's a whole nother video. This one is about the student loan forgiveness. Because I'll take it, to have my student loans forgiven. I'm a nurse. I do a great job. According to some people, most people, I do a great job. There are people that'll argue that. People that get mad at me for pushing Dilaudid slow, which, by the way, that's a Joint Commission thing. You're supposed to push opioids over 1 minute. And as effective that is for pain, doesn't do nothing for your head. No, it doesn't do much for your head, we'll say. That's another video, too. This one's about student loan forgiveness. And now, here's what I find super interesting about the student loan forgiveness thing, is because I haven't been given a letter. Nobody's written it in stone that my loans have been forgiven. But I go to the website, and it says I owe $0. $0 on a loan I paid back while my loan was in forbearance, if I'm saying that right. The loans were, or the interest was suspended, but I was still paying my loans back because I think that's a really good idea to do, is while you're not being charged interest to still pay your loans. In fact, I think that that's the solution to having student loans that are subsidized by the government, is just don't charge us interest. I'm not saying we should have our loans forgiven entirely. Stop the interest. Beautiful. What's the problem with that? We pay back what we borrow, exactly. And any funding that comes from the taxpayers is nothing more than to pay for people to perform this service. The employees and such of the government. We pay our government employees pretty good. Or make it part of one of the existing branches. I don't know which one. I guess the Division of Education would, hire a few to type it up. I'm no politician. I don't know. If I were a politician, I would call somebody, I would pick up the phone, and whoever answered it, I would say, hey, who do I talk to get somebody hired to paperwork for student loans? And let's pay them $25 an hour. No? Taxpayers don't want that. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if the taxpayers want that. Anyway, I'm not running for anything. I just know that student loan, and even though student loan interest is like minimal, like I only pay like 2 or 3% on my loan, it adds up while you're in school, because that's when it starts stacking, is while you're in school. And if you take a little while to finish school like I did, and it wasn't because I was lazy or anything like that, it was because I made a bad decision and moved back to shithole Miami. No, I'm kidding. I learned a lot living in Miami. I learned how to be thrifty. I learned how to operate inside of cultures other than my own. I lived in Little Haiti and just outside of Little Havana. So I learned those. And I lived in Aventura, so I got a little taste of extreme Jewish culture. Which, boy, do I have a lot to say about that. First of all, learn what a Semite is, would you? Please learn what a Semite is. Look that up. Look up the word Semite. Leave a comment. Because apparently most people don't know what that definition is. To be an anti-Semite. Maybe I get it wrong. I know what anti means. And I looked up the word Semite. So an anti-Semite would be a person against the definition of a Semite. Including the Arabs. So yeah, anyone from that area? Anyway. It's amazing how many people are applied to by the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing. Anyway, this is about student loan forgiveness and the fact that I'm very happy. I can't pay my student loans back. They put a block on my account to where I can't pay it back. I can see the one loan that I paid off to zero while my interest was in forbearance, meaning that I didn't have to pay my loans back, but I did anyway. And right now, it's saying I owe zero, and that I can't access paying back my loans, because Isn't that the best time to pay back your loans? Is when you're at zero interest? Yeah. So what's going to happen when the loans when I have to pay the loans back? You know, when they open it back up or whatever, will they stack up all this time that they've had it to where I can't pay it back? Is that what's getting ready to happen to me? Because that's not fair at all. They just made me not pay back that whole time where I could have been chipping it away to where when it's time to get interest again, my principal amount isn't as high as it was. Am I getting screwed again? And I don't know, man. I don't trust it. I just want to pay my loans back without interest. Just get rid of the interest. Get rid of the interest. Everybody's happy, right? The student loan is paid back. There's a little bit of taxpayer money paid for administration and down the line, which, by the way, don't get me started on administrators. Why do we need so many administrators? I don't think we do. I think there might be too many administrators because they all got to save the world, you know? I don't know. If you disagree with me or something, let me know. If there's anything you'd like me to elaborate on, let me know. I'll talk about all this stuff while I'm not doing aquaponics. I'll talk about travel nursing. I think I'm actually going to start another website doing this same thing, except I'm going to call it Ben on a Bench. Once I get familiar with making videos like this where I'm just talking or whatever. Because, there's one thing to do a full straight stream. It's another thing to edit out content that people aren't interested in. So if I can figure out whether people want to see the full stream or if they want to see like edited video or if they don't want to see it at all, that's a possibility too. Anyway, let me know what you think about student loan forgiveness. I say just get rid of the interest. Then we'd be good. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Hasta luego.